long story short, Travis didn't run the route.
Oh, God, no. Oh, no. Rest in peace, Logan Woodside. Woodside is right because Kyler Gordon came from the side and laid the wood. This hit felt straight out of the mid-2000s. It would have been the top play on Jacked Up on ESPN back when we were a proper country. It was a clean hit, but I was really just waiting for someone to throw a flag because, good Lord, I just didn't know it was legal to hit someone that hard anymore. Lost in this glorious hit was that Kyler Gordon blew up the Bengals a few plays earlier with this open field tackle on Kwame Lassiter. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon Perna, and I have one serious question for all of you football fans. Is Bo Nix literally Jesus Christ? Russell Wilson died for my sins so Bo Nix could save me and turn all my water into wine. I have a football boner for the first time since Denver traded for Mr. Unlimited. Today I've got the stock report for week 2 of the NFL preseason. Who's good? Who's bad? Who's gonna try and reason with me and tell me it's just preseason, Bo Nix? It's just preseason. Nah, he's a god. Today's episode is sponsored by Game Time, which is my favorite ticketing app that makes it easier for you to get seats at your favorite events in a moment's notice. I just used Game Time this month to get Rocky's tickets for Will Keys and myself when he was in town visiting. It's the best app to get last-minute tickets. Will, by the way, helps me write all of the episodes here. I knew he'd be in town for months, and I still didn't plan ahead, which is why I love Game Time. It's for the procrastinators, or the people like me who decide day of, oh yeah, I do want to go to that thing. Like maybe the Broncos-Steelers game that I'm eyeing week 2. It features the lowest prices guaranteed, event cancellation protection, and even job loss protection. Plus, you can see the view from your seat before you purchase, which is a feature I love. The app helps you save money with exclusive flash deals and even bigger deals for after an event starts. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code GOODSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, you gotta download the Game Time app, create the account, and redeem your offer with my code GOODSPORTS, GOODSPORTS, for $20 off. Game Time, last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Stock down, the dime. The great-grandson of FDR, Mr. Danny Dimes himself. Not only did Daniel Jones have a bad preseason outing, throwing a pick 6 as he tried to evade pressure in his own end zone, not only did he throw another interception, he took a stray from Tom Brady at the Fanatics convention.
Let's say Daniel Jones throws an interception. I didn't mean to say it like that.
Daniel Jones grew a beard, which tricks people into thinking you know what you're doing. Hence why I have one. But Dan Jones did not look good in his debut after tearing up his knee last season. Just 11 for 18, 138 yards, 2 picks, and some of the harshest criticism I've ever seen for a quarterback in a preseason game. Danny did find some redemption with this fully minted FDR. The announcer called this the best throw of his career.
Throw of the day, that might be the best throw of his career. Look where you talk about throwing a wide receiver open.
So at least the praise is as exaggerated as the criticism for Dan Jones. If Daniel Jones looks this bad week 8, fine, fair, I get it. But maybe dial back the urge to immediately shit on the dude most of us never thought was that great anyway, after he rehabbed all offseason from injury in a game that is a glorified practice. Jones made a handful of nice throws as well, but nobody wants to mention that. Stock up, rookie receiver, Malik Neighbors. I am devastated that Neighbors went to the wrong New Jersey team, though. Imagine if the Jets, who have Aaron Rodgers, drafted Neighbors. Mr. Rogers and Neighbors? Is there a better pair? And Aaron Rodgers drops back. Oh God, he's gonna throw deep to, would you like to be my neighbors? Yes, he would. Jets touchdown. Writes itself. Neighbors finished with 4 grabs for 54 yards as the Texans dominated the rest of the game. Stock up the Texans roster. It looks deep. They seem prepared to get through the bumps and bruises of the long NFL season. all except for running back Dare Ogunbowale, who was run down by defensive lineman Elijah Gets in the Chat, man. Stock up, fast, fat guys. That's the best fast, fat guy hustle play I've seen in the NFL since Cowboys lineman Larry Allen chased down Darian Conner to prevent a pick six. Stock down? Our knowledge of the NFL and what works. We've got a 280-pound defensive lineman with blazing 4.7 speed and a Korean kicker making the most fundamentally sound tackle in the league this week. What's next? Quarterbacks actually completing behind-the-back throws? Oh, damn it. Damn you to hell, you smooth son of a bitch, Patrick Mahomes. Not even I, a known Chiefs hater, can find a way to spin this in a negative light. This shit's pretty tight. I even like this asshole's answer explaining what happened with the behind-the-back pass.
Story short, Travis didn't run the route he was supposed to run.
You know he's got the voice thing, and so he kind of mumbled out the play. I couldn't hear it. I was walking up to the line. I was like trying to decipher what he was saying.
And then it was kind of a behind-the-back pass, kind of because I was mad. I was pissed off at Travis.
Yeah, and then I kind of saw him out of my peripheral run to the sideline, so I was trying to go help my guy out. By the time I looked over there, he was already in mid-form, like a photo on a sports card.
Stock down. Whatever the Chiefs do, it works. Xavier Worthy looked like he was certainly worthy of a first-round pick, getting open deep a couple of times and giving defensive coordinators preemptive headaches heading into the season. Stock down. Steelers QBs. Veteran QBs. Russell Wilson looked exactly like Russell Wilson. Danger Russ was sacked 3 times. Guys, 2 of those sacks came in the first 5 minutes of the game. All 3 in the first quarter. Russ netted -5 yards in the first quarter. And his first sack is something I watch too frequently in Denver. He's not quick enough to spin out and make magic happen at the same rate he used to. And he refuses to evolve as a passer and step into a clean pocket to make plays. Even when Russ makes the safe, clean throw, it may not even be the best option on the field, as Dan Orlovsky pointed out here.
Motion over, we're just trying to throw a stick. If this defender widens and this defender's high, we really want to throw that ball because it could be catch and run. We kick the ball to the flat, so sure, it's a good decision. I don't believe it's the right decision. And we get 3 yards. We're going to get probably 5 to 6 if we throw this ball.
Justin Fields isn't a lot better, but he's still elusive enough to escape those pressures. My prediction is the Steelers move to Justin Fields after Russell Wilson loses to the Broncos week 2. With Fields, you can count on 40 to 100 rushing yards in a given game. He had 42 on Saturday, but through 2 games, Justin Fields and Russ Wilson have accounted for just 3 points from the Steelers' offense. Not good early, but at least with Fields, you have a chance when a play breaks down, even if he might be the reason the play breaks down. The funniest shit I saw was Justin Fields overthrowing his ball catcher despite TJ Luther springboarding into the air, boing, higher than Simone Biles. The only thing higher than that jump is the 49ers' leverage with Brandon Ayuk after his top trade destination gave him very little reason to go there. I just imagine John Lynch saying, "You really want me to trade you to play with those quarterbacks? Because I'll totally do it if you want me to, Brandon. I will send you there." Stock down. The Raiders quarterback competition.
Can't take the good and not take the bad, right? So wish it ended well for both gentlemen, right? And it just didn't, and we'll look at it, we'll evaluate.
I've never seen a head coach so bored with his own quarterbacks. Well, since maybe Sean Payton last year.
Was it difficult with Russ knowing that the dead cap consequences were so severe to make that decision to let him go?
No.
Ultimately, Antonio Pierce named Gardner Minshew the starter, probably based on this throw alone. No, not that one. Not that one. Don't get me wrong. That was an absolute FDR by Minshew. I'm talking about Aiden O'Connell throwing this pick 6 when I think he had the starting gig all but wrapped up. The silver lining, receiver Trey Tucker has had back-to-back very good games for the Raiders. 73 yards last week, 66 in this game. Stock up for him. Caleb Williams went from stock down to stock up quicker than I've ever seen out of a quarterback within the same game. In his first 3 drives against the Bengals, the first overall pick looked completely out of rhythm. Didn't get a ton of help from his receivers and went 3 and out 3 times to start the game. Yes, 3 and outs. That's not good. That's not great. But that changed with an incredible 45-yard rainbow rolling to his left when he hit fellow rookie Rome Odunze down the sideline, setting up what should have been his first touchdown pass. If only Odunze knew where the end zone ended. But hey, Rome wasn't built in an Odunze, was it? Caleb also bought time for what felt like a half hour behind the line of scrimmage, finally running the ball into pay dirt for his first NFL touchdown. It wasn't totally clean, and he finished the day 6 of 13 passing, but Williams showed a handful of flashes that will keep Bears fans' hopes alive just a little longer than usual this season. Jamin Davis attempted a double murder. So, stock down, I guess? Good Lord, though, this is one of those things that physically hurts to watch, which is why, of course, it's in slow motion. To prolong the pain. This is one of those plays where if a member of the 09 Saints did it, they would have been able to put their kids through college. That's $1 billion in Bountygate money. Stock up. McCorkle Jones. Now, I think we can all agree that Mac Jones was in dire need of a change of scenery, and it appears he's benefiting from just that in his hometown of Jacksonville. Mac looked rejuvenated against both the Chiefs and Bucks, where he combined a hit on 25 of his 34 passes for 2 TDs and no picks. His 120 passer rating is highest in the preseason. He's also shown a lot of chemistry with their young receivers, Parker Washington and Brian Thomas Jr., whose stock's going up after spending the last 7 years being coached by Nick Saban and Bill Belichick. Working for Doug Peterson has to feel like spending every day with Mr. Rogers.
Watch this video, and then I'll treat you to some ice cream.
Mac Jones seems like a prime candidate to get a rehab year with the Jags, sign a deal with the new team where he gets a chance to start again and then probably figures out that he's just an elite backup in the NFL, which is a really great scenario for him to be in at this point. Stock up Jaden Daniels. He didn't have the big highlight throw like he did week 1, but he played like an efficient NFL QB. If he can do that consistently, holy shit, the Commanders may have drafted the best quarterback this year. He got rid of the ball on time, was accurate in tight window sideline throws, pointed out protections to his running back, all the shit we're gonna praise Bo Nix for. Plus, Jaden always has the ability to take off and rip 40 yards with his legs. I mean, he's no Jeff Driscoll in the long run department, but I'm very high on Jaden after 2 preseason games.
Big scramble here. Jeff Driscoll now in at quarterback, finding all kinds of room.
Stock evening out Stetson Bennett. He looked better than he did a week ago, which is not really saying much because he did throw 4 picks in the first preseason outing. He did find J.J. Lapp, who lapped the Chargers defense on his way to the end zone. Shout out to Stetson, who beat the Chargers with 17 to 31 passing, putting up 13 points. He's now won 2 preseason games, putting up totals of 13 and 13 with a combined 2 TDs and 5 picks. He's settling into a nice backup role with the Rams, where he'll be able to mentor Matthew Stafford for years to come. Stock up Chargers running back, 6th rounder rookie Kamani Vidal, who was excellent against the Rams, gaining 49 yards on the ground, 28 of those coming after contact. Vidal is 5'8", he wears number 30, and he also went to a smaller school. If the Chargers harvested Austin Eckler's DNA before he left to create a younger version of him, I would not be surprised. That might be the new scandal for Jim Harbaugh, stealing stem cells from his free agents. Either way, I think Vidal Sassoon is a lock to make the roster after this game. The Chargers' offensive line might be helping the run game as well, pushing forward 2.3 yards before their running backs get touched. Massive improvement from last season. Stock up Brandon's. Suck it, Justin Tucker. Suck it all, Justins. Tucker needed the crossbar and a fortuitous bounce to make his 66-yard field goal. Brandon Aubrey straight up hit that shit over everything. So I think we know what the real record is. Now I say Brandon's plural, well, because 49ers Brandon Allen whooped the hell out of Nathan Turner here. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, and Chris Berman just came.
Yeah, fuck it, let's go.
Stock down Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman, The early second rounder out of Florida State was supposed to be the consolation prize for losing Stephon Diggs in Buffalo. So far, he hasn't quite lived up to his billing, and it didn't help that he dropped this wobbly pass from Mitchell Trubisky at the goal line. Coleman was always going to be a guy that struggled with separation, so he really needs to come down with the tough catches if he wants to make an impact at wideout. Unfortunately for Bills fans, there's never been a rookie wide receiver to struggle in their first preseason and then turn out good. So I would just accept defeat now, Buffalo. Who am I referencing? Stock rising, Seahawks quarterback Sam Howitzer. After taking a very Howell-like sack early in this game, Sam delivered in the face of a relentless Titans blitz, threw one of the prettiest touchdowns of the weekend. He was 11 of 14 for a $153 and that FDR in his pocket. This is probably Geno's last year in Seattle, and Howell may be the plan sans Geno. Flaccid, my Penix from a lack of Penix. I wish I understood the Falcons' strategy with Mr. Penix. They took an older QB at 8, knowing he wouldn't see the field for a couple years, played him for one preseason game, then shelved him. I do not get it. This is the one time, hopefully, for the Falcons that he's going to get valuable in-game experience his rookie season, and you don't let him take any more snaps in the preseason? What are you saving him for? Is this their way of saying that they're worried about Kirk Cousins' health going into the season? Even if that's the case, I still think it would be worth it to get Penix under center and make some live throws against a real NFL defense. Atlanta has gotten a lot of good PR this last week after trading for Matt Judon and signing Justin Simmons. I gave them their flowers, but they still don't appear to have a firm grasp on what to do with the Penix. And if you want somebody who knows how to handle a Penix, why don't you bring in Philly Rivers as a consultant? Stock up, Josh Dobbs. The Pastronaut. Josh Dobbs is a weird quarterback. I don't think he can ever be a viable long-term starter, but he flashes harder than any backup since Nick Foles. We watched the Pastronaut play through 3 different teams last year. Not just play, but play well. Maybe that's because he had no expectations. Maybe it's because he's very good. Or maybe it's because teams can't game plan for him when he enters a new offense. Probably a mix of all the above. But I think he solidified himself as the backup for the 49ers. He has rushing TDs in back-to-back games for the Gold Diggers and threw for 133 yards. The prospector not will always be a bit wild throwing, but if he's going to come in for a game or two, he's getting you the dub. Stock down. All the morons tweeting that Brock Purdy has been exposed without his weapons on the field. NFC Championship, Super Bowl. But going 2 for 6 for 11 yards in the preseason, that's the real Brock Purdy. Okay, I think there's a weird contingent of 49ers fans out there who want him to fail just so they can say they're right. Stock up. Greg Elway, the preseason John Elway of helicoptering the Packers. Honestly, just seeing tight end Greg Dulcich finish a game and not get hurt made me happy. But also, Dulcich looks good. Now, there were rumors that Tim Patrick, who missed the last 2 seasons with injury, was on the roster bubble. If those rumors were true, I think Tim has silenced them in this game. And he silenced them the way you silence anything. With chloroform and a touchdown. At least that's what Ace Ventura taught me. TP Streets had 4 grabs for 30 yards in his first touchdown in like 2.5 years. Stock is rising though for Broncos safety Keidron Smith, who got a pick for the 2nd straight game and nearly housed this one. Big stock up, Bo leave. Bo owns the Packers. Bo Pack Bo. Yes, I'm talking about Broncos quarterback Bo Nix. Now, McCarthyism may have ended early, but the Nixon administration is just getting started, and this quarterback is a crook.
Well, I'm not a crook.
Just like last week, Bo Nix threw 2 touchdowns, and just like last week, only one of them counted. Now, I won't mention why it didn't count this week, because it was due to the fact that Bo was a mile over the line of scrimmage when he threw it, but I'm not going to mention that. Bo went 8 for 9 for 80 yards and a TD, and most importantly, didn't take any sacks. Again, Russ was 8 for 10, which looks nice on the box score, but roughly half the yards and 3 sacks. Bo was not facing the Packers starters. I need to mention that. He was playing against a bunch of the twos. I know, that is a fair point. And his play could easily be worse when the defense he faces gets better. But there's no denying he looks comfortable at the position. He's been in the league for 5 minutes, and he looks more confident than Russ did with Sean Payton, a 12-year vet. Stock up, Zach Wilson. Yeah, he took a horrible sack here. But I want this motherfucker, no pun intended, on my team when Bo Nix takes us to the promised land. Hey, and don't forget we got my coffee, the Fuck the Refs blend, the backup blend, and we're going to be moving all of my merch over to benchwarmerbrew.com. We'll be revamping the site a little bit, but we're going to have a lot of cool stuff there. But if you want to get my coffee, the cheapest way to get it is with the subscription service. And this is our darkest roast, our best roast. The people love it. And those are the stock reports for week 2 of the preseason. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe here on YouTube. And oh boy, don't let me get hurt, Bo. I believe you cannot let me down. I can't do it again, Bo.